Hello, friend. Welcome to 10 Bestest, where we sift through the noise so you don't have to. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarlane-Holman.
Today, I am going to share the story of stuff and how it changed my life.
I'm going to be sharing about a globally impactful poet. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet is going to be a website, and this is similar to the last cool sheet. And this is a website called The Story of Stuff. So originally, The Story of Stuff was a 21-minute short film hosted by Annie Leonard. It came out in 2009. Now, I remember very distinctly in 2009 when this first came out when I saw it. I was on the board at the Salem Progressive Film Series, and we were always looking for documentaries to show to our patrons. And we had a couple years where we really liked to show shorts before our feature film. And this one it impacted me so much. A lot of my life decisions have been based on that movie. So I love when you find something that is just a sea change moment that really changes you. Couple of the biggest takeaways from that is the anti-consumerism, kind of the model of how it talks about how you can't run on a linear system with finite resources. It is impossible to do forever. And it talks about the entire cycle of natural resources, or unnatural, anything, into the factory, into the production, buying them and then trashing them. It also taught me a lot about planned obsolescence. This is the first time I heard about that too. So they actually make things that are good enough so you feel like you can buy it, that it is worth buying, but it is also built in to break, so you have to buy it again later. And they actually, when it first started coming out, they are like, how long? They were very open about it. Oh, a blender could probably last 5 years. If it's 4 years, they might buy a different brand, but if it's 5, it's just enough to make it last where people will buy a new one. So, super. And then even perceived obsolescence might even be worse, where that's just like, you gotta get the newest thing. So the newest iPhone, and I'm still guilty of this one a little bit. There's so much more on this website than just this movie. In fact, they've done like 15 different movies. The story of cap and trade, the story behind bottled water, the story of cosmetics, the story of electronics, the story of Citizen versus FEC, the story of broke, the story of change, the story of solutions, the story of microbeads, the story of microfibers, the story of plastic, an animated short, and a feature that I think won an Emmy. Definitely check out The Story of Stuff.
Ooh, planned obsolescence. I know that concept. I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
It is.
And that whole, they don't make it like they used to is true. It's a real thing.
Yeah, because they started making this planned obsolescence where things would break down super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I've never heard of this.
There's so many different other links. They have blogs. They had a podcast. It was short, only 18 episodes, but still worth checking out. Their blog. They're still putting out movies. They have so many different resources. So definitely worth checking out this website.
Love it. I will. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right.
And don't forget that you can check all of those show notes out, I should say, on tebestest.com/food.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Michael Sheet. I am going to be talking about a poet, and this is Rumi. In episode 180, guest Mickey Trowbridge shared a beautiful poem by the world-renowned and much-loved poet Rumi. She talked about the poem and how its meaning and how she uses it as a meditation, but she did not talk about Rumi himself, and so I wanted to share him because he's so amazing. His full name, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, probably not pronouncing that correctly, but we will call him Rumi, which is how he is known. He was a 13th century Persian poet, an Islamic dervish, and a Sufi mystic. He is regarded as one of the greatest spiritual masters and poets. He is most famous for his lyrics and for his epic work, whose name translates to spiritual couplets. This piece was especially influential in mystical thought and literature throughout the Middle East. He was born in 1207 AD, and he belonged to a family of highly educated theologians. But he created accessible teachings that touched so many different kinds of people because he made use of everyday life circumstances to describe the spiritual world. Rumi's poems have acquired immense popularity, especially among Persian speakers of Afghanistan, Iran, and Tajikistan. But Rumi's popularity has gone beyond national and ethnic borders. He is considered to be one of the major classical poets worldwide. Rumi's works have been translated to many languages across the world: Russian, German, Urdu, Turkish, Arabic, French, Italian, English, and Spanish. Rumi was a disciple of one of his father's students, and under his guidance, he practiced Sufism and acquired a lot of knowledge about spiritual matters and secrets of the spiritual world. Rumi inherited his father's spiritual leader position and became a prominent religious leader. And by the time he was 24 years old, he had proven himself as a well-informed scholar in the field of religious science, and he wrote absolutely gorgeous poetry. Rumi.
Oh, thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing that.
Can you believe that hasn't been a cool sheet yet?
I mean, I can and I can't at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Well, and it's funny because when I saw the show notes, I was like, oh, are we sure we haven't talked about that? I know I forgot. And then I was like, oh yeah, Mickey talked about that. And I loved her approach too, because she takes one meditation specific and like kind of makes it almost her mantra meditation for the year. Which is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
That's a cool sheet all on its own. Like just that, I mean, she shared the specific one, but that practice is really cool. I love that idea. So thank you so much, Mickey, for that.
Yes.
But yeah, Rumi is one of those magical people that whenever I read anything from Rumi, I'm just like immediately centered, calm, at ease. I feel better. It's always insightful. I'll think about it in different parts of my life. I'll think about it different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. I've never, you know, and of course I'm probably looking at highlighted work, but I never see something and I'm like, I don't know about that one.
All of it, yes.
You know, it's always just like, oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
So magical. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
It makes me want to go check out some Rumi.
Yeah, read some tonight.
Yes, and don't forget, you can check out some of that on our show notes at 10bestest.com/food. That will take you to all the show notes, and you can check out some Rumi. Thank you so much for joining us, friend. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
Let us know in the comments, what's your favorite sustainable practice?
And type in the comments, who's your favorite poet?
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like on this video and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another great show.
And don't forget to stay curious.